As we go to that last sequence when you got the ball back, just one, why didn't you like what went into the decision to not call a timeout right there? And then two, as part of that, if Jaren or Jock make both of the free throws and it's a 1 point game, does that change the way you handle that situation in any way?
Um, we got that rebound with 6.8 seconds left. It was an uncontested rebound. Jalen was able to push it. Unfortunately, that pass, we got it to Ja, I think, at like 3.5 seconds or so. Those are the decisions you have to make during the game. Always, hindsight is always 2020. We had scored, I think, 5 of our last 6 offenses, pushing the break, and we've generally been better in those situations, and that's what the guys are trained to do, as and Jalen did what was expected. So basically the timeout could have been taken once he took 1 or 2 dribbles. Now you're working with a 4-second shot clock from a stationary position. Thought Ja did a great job in creating space for himself. I think the ball slipped a little bit out of his hand, but he still got a shot off in that situation, and you still have a game winner in the air.
I think that's the 11th game where you've had a double-digit lead and lost it this season. Do you attribute that to anything in particular? Just what do you make of it?
I mean, you probably have looked that up, so you know that that's the truth. What goes into those situations, I would say that we discussed this during our European tour also because what we had against the Orlando Magic in the first game, and I think people generally say that that's a bad thing, that you build a lead, that you build a double-digit lead, and the basketball has changed a lot as a sport. I don't know if the perception of the games and the nature of those has changed as fast. The up and down, the roller coaster of the scores, that's, I would say, more of a feature than a bug. It isn't like it was maybe 30 years ago when you had a double-digit lead and the game is somehow safe at that point, or you control the game going forward from that. So that's one of those things. Then there's other things. We have a relatively young team. We have missed a lot of our primary creators or our primary screeners in that situation. We have been at our best in transition game. In those situations, that's not often available, or the game slows down and you got to be able to execute in the half court, not just offensively but also defensively. And in those situations, now we had Ja, and he's been great in these situations. That obviously helps, but we haven't had him also available in those situations, and that also makes it tougher. You got to put the ball in somebody's hands, and he's got to make a decision, and it's got to come in a certain amount of seconds.
And Coach, when you build leads like that, and you certainly lose leads, did you see a trend or something that can be done to prevent that from happening?
Yeah, and that's what we work on every day in practice. There's no big secrets. You could take a look at both games, for example, in Europe, and when we're playing with pace, when we're moving the ball side to side, when the ball doesn't stick, we generally play well, just like we scored really well late in the game, doing the same thing, being very aggressive but patient at the same time, and that's been the key to our success. Now, when we go away from that, for whatever reason, the success rate isn't as high.
That game at times felt like it was pretty tightly officiated. Do you have to adjust at all as a coach, I guess, what you're doing defensively at all when they are calling some of the fouls that may not typically get called?
Yeah, overall, I think it's lately, especially now in 26, it's been very hard to get a grasp on how the game is officiated. Some of the high five fouls that were called very tightly earlier in the season have completely disappeared. It looks more like it used to, but there's I don't know if there's been a big reveal that is no longer a foul. Screening is very difficult. to evaluate also today. I think Jaren got 2 illegal screens, and looking at the games, for example, in Europe, it's very hard to figure out what are the common denominators in legal and illegal screening from night to night. And those are some of the things that I think the players on an individual tactical level can adjust. But the other part of that is that if you're playing well as a team, usually you're playing habitually and you're leaning on your habits that you've gotten from the practice. And because of this, I think it isn't like an issue if the game is called tight or loose, but the consistency within the game and from game to game, that's, I think, what coaches and players would like to see.
Coach, with a handful of turnovers coming there in the second half, how much do you attribute that to fatigue and jet lag with the travel that you guys have had to do?
I mean, it's an impossible question. I can't say. I know that our guys were extremely tired today, and I also know that all of them competed as hard as they could, and that's what happens. You also got to give credit to the Hawks. They're one of the best teams in the whole league in turning the ball over for the other team because of their activity and disruptive backcourt defense. Thank you.